On. Hello everybody. Just want to mention, just before I introduce you to Bill, thank you everyone that come along to the fair today. We had a really good day at Haylen Island and the Body, Mind, Spirit Fair. So thank you all for coming along for that. The talk that we're doing tonight, while we're just waiting for all you viewers to come on, we're going to be talking to Bill. So Bill Roberts has been a medium now for 40 odd years.
Too long.
And has served many of the spiritualist churches. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is about mediumship. And so do, get involved. You can ask any questions on the philosophy of being a spiritualism, and Bill will be able to answer a lot of your questions. Also, we're going to be talking about trance as well. So if it's a particular area that you're interested in, then it's a good opportunity to ask any questions. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to be talking, Bill's going to be answering questions, and also just talking a little bit about mediumship. And one of the big parts me and Kate were talking about earlier back last week at the lounge was the responsibilities of being a medium. So we're going to talk a bit about that, the ethics and being professional, but also it just enables you to, if there's any particular questions you want to ask about being a psychic or being a medium, and also, if you want to share your own experiences, whether they've been good or bad, you're welcome to do that. At the end, we're going to be on for about an hour, depending how Bill feels after an hour, and then we're going to go on and do a few live readings with myself, and Bill might even jump in on them. Okay, so obviously there's a few of you starting to log on now. Okay, so like I said, for those that have missed the beginning, the intro, this is Bill Roberts. So Bill, I've known him for quite a few years, although we haven't had contact for a while because he's been busy, and so have I. And so Bill's been working as a psychic medium for 40 years, and he served many of the spiritualist churches. So perfect person to ask if you've got any questions on our topic tonight, which is about mediumship and trance. So over to you, Bill. I'm going to ask Bill a question because I've already got one in mind. One, it's always interesting to find out how we start. Sometimes, we sort of come into this by, for me personally, it wasn't something I wanted to do. It's because I was scared of it and I needed to develop and to be able to control what was happening. So for you, Bill, what made you come into mediumship?
Well, the start of it really was from a very young age, where I had a lot of psychic experiences, and I became interested in different psychic phenomena. And my father was very much into psychic interests as well, and so we used to talk about it, and we read a lot of books. It wasn't until sort of when I was in my early 20s, somebody said to me, "Oh, there's a medium in Portsmouth that you ought to go and see him and have a reading." So I did. I went to go and see this medium, and he said, "Well, by the way, do you know you're psychic?" So I thought, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's find out a bit more about it. And he said, "Well, what you want to do is go along and develop it, and then you can open up a new horizon for yourself and a new experience." And so I thought, well, fair enough, I did. So I went along to a organisation, and I learned my psychic development there. Under good teachers, controlled, and they knew what they were talking about, and that's the basis on which I started, really. So it was always been there. I've had a lot of phenomena around me, but it's a question of putting your mind and focusing on it, and then experience it more fully.
Okay, so you mentioned obviously good teachers, and that is a really important basics of learning any development, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to trust your teachers, and you got to know that they are honest and they're doing it for the right reasons. And the integrity of the teacher is, paramount, really. There's a lot of pseudo teachers out there, but you should get to know them. You feel their love, you feel their compassion, you feel their genuine desire to help people to unfold and develop. And that's the basis on which I've done all my teaching, is that I've been true to spirit and to the spirit world, to allow me to teach people and to allow them to experience the wonderful things that I've experienced as well. Because psychism and spiritualism and mediumship is a wonderful, wonderful experience, but it is a very personal experience. My experiences are not the same as Paula's experiences, but Paula's unique experiences are unique to herself, as my experiences are unique to myself, as your experiences have been unique to yourself. There is no clearly defined way of the spiritual connection. There is a generalization which allows you to touch the source, but how it expresses itself is multifaceted and unique to the individual. Brilliant.
The other thing we did speak briefly about before we come online was about the responsibility of being a medium. Okay, so Bill, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you have to be very careful as being a medium, because people tend to sit on your very words. Yeah, you know, you're the prophet and you know all the answers, and that you're giving them complete and utter guidance in their lives. And the truth is, you're not. You're doing your best, but you have to be sincere within that. But there are certain things that are best not said, because people take them the wrong way, and there's other things that, you know, are completely wrong anyway. So you have to be responsible for your words and be aware that people will respond to them accordingly. You know, you wouldn't say to somebody, "Oh, be careful, you could drop down dead next week." You know, it might be nice for them to know that they're going to die next week, but you know, remember that you have the responsibility not only for them but for all their families. Because if you told somebody something really negative, it not only impacts on them, it impacts on all their family and friends around them, because they'll share that with them. Now that puts undue stress and, you know, heartache to a greater group of people, and it may not be right, because we understand that in the psychic and in the mediumistic connection, it's all a question of interpretation of the information that you're receiving, and we can be wrong. I hate to admit that, but sometimes we can be wrong, because we're human as well. Yeah. And we have our own, you know, thoughts, ideas. For example, depending on what mood I'm in today will determine the level of the communication I receive. Like I came out tonight, and before I came out, I had my dinner. If my wife had burnt my dinner, I might not be in a very good mood. Therefore, that could have an impact on the way that I open up to spirit. So you need to be responsible for yourself and the communication that you share with other people. But if you focus on the positive aspect of it, then all will be well. Have faith in the spirit, because spirit will always guide you accordingly. You can't go wrong, really, and that's the basis on which I've worked.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've got many on here at the moment. So
yeah, you've got.
So I'm just going on my phone and having a look. So
yeah, lots of people saying hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Good for you to join with us tonight. For those that have only just come on, I'm just going to mention it. So again, we've got Bill Roberts. Bill's been a psychic medium for 40 years, and tonight we're talking about mediumship and we're talking about trance. So what we want you to do, if you can, is to get involved and engage with us. You know, are there any questions at all that you want to ask on mediumship or trance or anything of spiritual nature? So it's just to get you involved. We are going to be doing some live readings later, but it's nice to have that energy exchange, so for you to interact with us and to get some questions across. So have we got any at the moment?
No.
Okay.
I've got a question about circles. I was just looking because my cousin's name's popped up.
Mm-hmm.
She went to a circle, didn't quite feel it was for her. She didn't sort of fit in very well.
Yeah.
Just the energy didn't feel right. But then she was told she wasn't allowed to go to any other circles. So what are your feelings on circles and people? Is it okay to go to one circle like one night and another one another night? I did say to her, the thing is you've got to keep everything confidential within the circle.
I do have a problem with sub-circles. I don't like open circles, first and foremost. And a lot of people go along to open circles. The trouble with open circles is they're not controlled, because, you know, anybody can come in, and, you know, a guy could come in, just beat his wife up, murdered his wife, and sit down in a circle. That's a lovely energy to have in a circle, isn't it? therefore I don't agree with open circles. I know that's an extreme example, but you know, you do get, you know, lots of people with issues that come into circles because they're looking for, you know, something, you know, to help them. So the best bet is to try and go into a close circle, you know, where you're invited along and it's regular sitters. But even then, it's based on personalities, really. You know, like I could probably sit with Paula because me and Paula get on, but there's other people I was sat in circles in the past. We just did not resonate. Our energies weren't compatible for whatever reason. Therefore, I did not feel comfortable, you know, working with him at a psychic level. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's just me and that's just them. Therefore, I move into another group. I run my own group, but I invite people to come in on occasions as guests. But I have to identify a feeling for them that they can add something to the group and that they are in balance with me. So you don't want to fit from group to group, because that doesn't help you to discipline yourself and develop. But you need to find a group which you're comfortable with, where there's a lot of love for you and for the people there. You have to resonate within that group. It's all about energy and vibrations, and you know it yourselves. You'll feel it. You know, it's that connection that you have between like-minded people. Like attracts like in the world of spirit, and the same basis is the same in mediumistic and psychic development.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, totally agree with Bill on that one. So we got a question in. This is Sonia. Hello, Sonia. Bill, question: do you feel many people now are claiming to be trance mediums? Only thought. Sorry, Sonia. I don't know what you're trying to say. Right. So do you feel many people now are claiming to be trance mediums? Only she thought it was a rare gift. So that's what Sonia's.
It's interesting, you know, because if you study spiritualism, when you look back, you know, there has been trance in various forms for over 150 years. You go back to the Fox sisters in 1850, and they were trance mediums, weren't they? But so trance mediumship has been around for a long time, but there does seem to be an increase in trance mediumship taking place now. Now, there's obviously a reason for that. Spirit are moving closer. It's a good means of getting their message over, and that society has moved on. And as people are born, more spiritually evolved beings are being born into the world now, and they are more receptive to the ability to express the trance form of communication. So, yeah, I believe that there is a purpose in the increase in trance, but you're right, there is an issue in as much as that trance is open to egoists, whereby I'm in trance. When you go and see a trance medium, then do not take what they say but off pat. Always question the medium or the communicator that comes through. Now, you may not be have the ability to talk to the communicator, but does that information that communicator is given to you through trance, does it resonate with you? Does it feel as though that does come from a loving source? Has it a value within that message? Now, if it resonates with you, then accept it for what it is. If it doesn't, then don't accept it, because trance is very subjective. And once again, because we are fallible within the human form, trance is always open to be misconstrued or misrepresented.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Sonia? So do we have any more questions? You can ask anything at all of a psychic or spiritual nature. So Bill's here to answer any questions that you might want to ask. So just while we're waiting for any more questions, Bill, one of the questions I wanted to ask about trance is, obviously, you know, with if you're sat in a group or anyone is actually leading a trance circle, it's being aware of the energies that are coming in. So would you need to have some mediumistic ability, or should you have that, to be able to control and to be aware of the different spirits that are coming in?
Yeah, it's a good question, but
I'll just grab my coffee.
You need to be careful that you don't limit yourself. So I'm not going to say to you, right, you must be a medium or a psychic to do trance, because it doesn't work that way. You know, somebody will suddenly one day sit down and boom, they find the ability that they could do trance mediumship. Where the heck did that come from?
Yeah.
Well, it came because it was meant to be at that moment in time, and that spirit decided that, you know, you had the ability and that they were going to use you. So you can't clearly define what you need to be a trance medium, but to help, if you're interested in trance, then it does help if you have the intent, the interest, and the dedication to look in that particular direction, and ask spirit to guide you and give you the advice and support that allows you to express that form of psychic or spiritual phenomena through you. But remember, trance is only one aspect. Everybody is psychic by right of birth, right? Because psychic is from the Greek word psyche, which means mind. So everything that we perceive is through our mind. The universe, or God, for want of a better word, is constantly talking to us. You women are brilliant at it because you've got a thing called women's intuition, which I hate because my missus is really good at it as well. But the point being is that innate intuition, which is a psychic spiritual ability, allows you, all of you, at some level to communicate with the spirit world. And you've all done it through hunches, feelings, whatever. The only difference between you and me and Paula is that we're daft enough to stand up and do it publicly in front of people. But that doesn't diminish anything that you feel or you get yourself. Never doubt that you have the ability to communicate with the spirit world anytime, at any place, in your house, in the street, in the road. I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. Because I've been into, you know, spiritualism for many, many years, and because my father was into it, and my father lost his mother and father just after the Second World War, and because of that, he was quite young, and he decided that he wanted to have a communication with his mum. He wanted to prove that there was life after death. So back in the 50s and 60s, he went to the all the best physical mediums that are around and that used to come through. And he saw some incredible things far beyond what you would see today. Back in the 50s and 60s, there were some incredible physical mediums about, and you can check that up in the books and a history of spiritualism. But anyway, he went to spiritual churches for many years, and he never ever got a message from his mum. I bet you all feel the same, don't you, as well? Why don't I get a message from me? Because I've been going to churches for ages. But the point being is, one night we were living in Gosport and we didn't have a car then, and he caught the bus home. And as he was walking down the street, he got to a lamppost. As he got to the lamppost, there was a little old lady walking towards him. And as he got to parallel with her, he looked down to her and said, "Good evening, love." And she looked up and said, "Good evening" as well. And he took 2 steps and he froze. That woman was his mum. He turned around, she was gone. Now that is the wonderful thing about the spiritual connection. Spirit will come to you wherever and whenever there is a need. So don't limit yourself and don't limit the spirit world in their ability to communicate and give you love, compassion, and understanding, because God, the universe, loves you and will give you what you need. If you are sincere in your desire, then you will get what you need. And that's the thing with mediumship. You have to be careful with it. Do not put mediums on a pedestal. Don't think that they are special. They're not. All we've done is learn a technique. It's a technique of mind, ability to lift our consciousness to another level, whereby spirit is able to communicate with us, and we share that with you. But understand that we are still fallible, and that all mediums are fallible in as much as they still live the same lives as you. But it's, once again, I go back to this resonance. If a medium resonates with you, if the ego is taken away, then you will have a really good medium, and you know that the message that's come through with love is true and pure. And that is the most wonderful thing you can get.
Brilliant. Thanks, Bill. Love that.
Right, you've got a question.
Yeah, I've got some.
First one from Emma Smith. Do you think youngsters can see spirit and or be psychic?
And just quickly, Sonia said, "Thank you, Bill. That was great. That explanation."
Thank you, Sonia. Glad you enjoyed it. That's great.
Right.
Right, children. Children are brilliant, aren't they? Don't you just love children, especially when you give them back to their mothers? But the thing about children are very, very, very open, and that's the sad thing about society, is that if you listen to children and that they are tuned into another world because they're completely open, they are not, you know, programmed by society. What changes them is when they go to school. As soon as they go to school, they see things. But a lot of children are open, but understand that children don't think the same way as we do. They accept. They're accepting of what they see. I remember many years ago when my daughter was very young, she talked to me about the little blue man at the end of the bed, and I'm thinking, little blue man? What little blue man? And she was seeing fairies. But then after the age of 4, it disappeared because she went to school. As soon as she went to school, she started getting programmed. I think our thought processes change. Children are open. So listen to what your children say, especially between, from the time they start talking to the time they go to school. But they're not all the same because everybody's different. Some children are more sensitive, but they do give you some interesting insights into the real world, which we don't see because we've grown up, which is a shame, isn't it, really?
Right, brilliant. Thanks, Bill. So we have another one. Oh, John Bennis, bless him, he's one of our healers on the island. Hello, John.
Hi, John.
John said, hi, Bill.
Hi, John. How you doing, mate?
And you are overshadowing. You're being overshadowed.
No, it's overshadowing and like trance.
Oh, no, sorry. He did mention something earlier about the picture went a little bit blurry.
Oh, that's all right then.
Overshadowing.
Well,
Okay,
I was
James.
hoping something like that would happen anyway. So.
Okay, so John Bennis has said, hi, Bill. Is overshadowing a light trance state?
Yeah. It's depending what you mean by overshadowing, John. I feel spirit coming close to me. It's when I allow them to come into me. I'm in control. Spirit never control me. I allow them. I'm in control, and that's the other thing people need to know within trance and mediumship. They don't suddenly jump into your body and start talking through you. You allow that overshadowing to take. And if I'm in the mood and if the spirit are there and the opportunity is right, then I allow them to come through me. But that doesn't mean to say they're not close to me. When I do my church services, I do an address, and a lot of those are inspirational addresses because I'm not a great one for doing preparations, and I don't believe it anyway. So there is a overshadowing which allows me to receive an inspirational communication.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've got James Bucknell. What do you think of mediums that read across Skype to people at the other side of the world? And do you think all mediums have trance ability?
Yes, everybody has the ability to do trance of some kind, depending on their desire and their own spiritual progression at that time. I reckon this doing readings over Skype is brilliant, because once again it shows that spirit are opening up to the world, the real world in which we are living, and they're expressing themselves through the new technology. They're not being held back to the past, like this is how it should be, this is how it's always got to be, that's how it's got to be. Skype is a good reflection of the ability of the mind to transcend time and space. Therefore, I can give a reading over a phone. I do phone readings. I haven't done so many Skype readings, but the point being is I have the ability with spirit to link in to you through your voice, through your image, and Paula does it as well anyway. Therefore, I am not limiting spirit or my spiritual psychic self to one particular means of communication. I say to the universe, let's go for it. If it works, it works. But once again, it goes back to, does it resonate with you? Does it make sense? Is it true? Is it of value to you? That's the proof of the pudding. Is it of value to you? But Skype is a good means because it gets out to a lot more people.
Okay, so we've got a few that have said hello. So Claire Grant, hi Claire. And who else have we got? We have, just wait for some more questions to come in. So a few of you are asking for readings. We will be doing them at the end, okay? So Zoe has taken a note of all your names, so you won't miss out. Kerry Davis, hi Kerry.
Okay.
So yeah, is there any more questions? So we really would like some more questions if you have any. Anything to do with the psychic and spiritual nature of things. So you can ask anything at all. Okay. So for those of you that have only just come on, I'm talking to Bill Roberts here. He's been a psychic medium for 40 years, served many of the churches, and he's doing a talk here tonight on mediumship and trance. Is there anything? So yeah, we will be doing readings later. Okay, so any questions, please engage with us, and it's a good opportunity to, you know, even hear some, maybe a little bit of philosophy, Bill, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh, trance, I don't mind. Yeah, let's see what they want to say to me. So if I'm sitting here, I'm linking into spirit, so they're inspiring me to say whatever, to uplift all of you. The message that's basically coming through is the spirit world, and it's the message at the moment more than anything is to love. And if you want to be a medium, or if you want to be not just a medium, if you just want to be a person in the fullest sense, you must learn to love yourself first. And in understanding the love that comes from within yourself, then you can start to express yourself in the multifaceted way that you are. And in that sense, that you can open yourself up physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And that allows spirit to come in to talk to you, and then you connect more fully to the source, which is all around us, call it God, and God is love. Love is God. And in that understanding, that connection through your heart, and how many of you, meditate upon your heart? How many of you send out love? I know those of you who are healers, they probably do that. But just sit there and think about your heart and sending out love, not just to anybody in particular. You can send it to your cat or your dog. My cat loves being zapped with a bit of love from my heart, because animals respond to that energy. But send that love out to the world. What's the time then? Time now is 20 to 8, but at 10 o'clock there's a healing minute, and that's been going for years. And in that, thousands and thousands of people send out love to the world. And we need to change the way that we think. It's understanding the philosophy of spirit, and we talk about it. We go to see mediums, and we're amazed by the phenomena. But the point is, we've now got to start living the messages which are coming through. Spirit come back to us on that link of love, because they want to help us, and they want to give us guidance. But they want you to take responsibility for yourself. And now there is a change taking place, which allows us to open up more fully. But through love and understanding and compassion, then we can make that closer connection. And then you can have your own personal miracles. I've had some incredible experiences in my life through my connection with spirit. Paula's had some incredible experiences in her life through their connection to spirit. That's not just because I've been a medium. It's because of who I am, a human being. I am a human being in this form now, but ultimately I'm a spiritual entity trying to understand the human condition. And if you understand that concept, then you'll understand that our true subtle selves is a being of love and light. And we've come here to learn lessons, because this is a hard place, isn't it? And when we learn those lessons, then it allows us to move on into the next state of existence, because life is eternal. You're never, ever going to die. You'll die in the physical, but the essence, which is you, that special bit, that bit of light that's within you, is going to live forever, and it's going to move into another state of consciousness. My dear friend passed away about a year ago, and it was a shock. But when she came back, the question you asked is, what's it like in the spirit world? How are you getting on? Is it lovely? And she said to me, she says, it is far more fantastic, far more beautiful, far more wonderful than you can ever perceive. Now, isn't that an interesting point? Now, we have our own preconceived ideas of life after death, where we go to the summer land or the spirit world, which is similar to the world in which we've just passed from. But what my friend said was, it's even more beautiful, even more fantastic, even more varied than we can possibly understand. The truth is, we are only told a small part of the true spiritual reality, because that's all we can really perceive within this three-dimensional situation. So the wonderful thing that we can all grasp onto is that life after death isn't just beautiful, it is fantastic. It is eternal. Many, many years ago, I sat in a circle just after the time that Peter Sellers passed away, and he came back and we asked him the same question. And he said exactly the same answer, is its spirit world is so vast, it is so beautiful, it is so expansive that it is beyond your imagination. Isn't that a wonderful thought, that the spirit world is beyond our imagination? So beautiful, so loving, and we're going there. We're going there. Therefore, if we can learn within this life something about ourselves, if we can help those less fortunate ourselves, if we can find love and expand our consciousness to a higher level through our communication with our guides and communicators, then we are getting closer to the infinite, because that's who we are. Isn't life wonderful? It's great, isn't it? I love it.
I'm glad you said that about, having that compassion and helping people. So Sonia, if you're still on here, hon. So Sonia sent another message. She said, another question. Bill, I'm in two minds about carrying on with my psychic gifts. Do you ever feel that it gets too much?
Yeah, I've been there, done it, got a t-shirt. I did the mediumship for 25 years, and I'll tell you what, I got bored with it after. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm fed up with it. So I didn't. I stopped for a little while. Now, the interesting thing is, when I was born, God didn't say to me, Bill, you're going to be a medium. It was my choice. I didn't have to be a medium. What God said to me was, Bill, what I want from you out of life is I want you to be happy. Now, if you're not happy being a medium, don't do it. But if you are happy, then do it. And Sonia will say to you, do what you want. God still loves you, but be who Sonia is. Who is Sonia? That's the question. Find out who you are. You might be the best cake maker in the world, and you shouldn't be doing psychic work. You should be a cake maker. Don't limit yourself, and don't believe that being a psychic is the be-all and end-all of spiritual growth. Spirituality is a concept which people don't understand. Spirituality is about life. It's about how you live your life and how you adapt to the experiences of life that come to you. That's how you evolve and develop. It's not about being a psychic. They're just gifts to enhance your life, to enrich your life, if you want. But ultimately, it's being true to yourself. And that's what people really are lost at. They're looking for something. They're looking for themselves. Be who you are. Be true to yourself. Be happy. Then you'll find God. Then you'll have all the gifts of the Spirit. Clairvoyance, communication with the spirit world are a natural consequence of those who raise their mind. You don't have to sit into circles, but if you focus and raise your mind to a higher level to communicate through your thoughts, through your prayers, through your affirmations, raise the vibration within yourself. As a natural consequence of your personal development, you will have spiritual communication, because that's who we are. We are spiritual beings living in the human condition. Therefore, it's all there for us.
Thanks, Bill. Sonia's put, can't laugh out loud, can't make cakes. But no, Sonia, I've always said, just, if you want to carry on with it, just carry on with it. Just be yourself, like Bill said. You've got that empathy, and you've got that compassion to do the work, and that's what we need.
Yeah, but Sonia, don't feel guilt. Guilt's not into it. All right, so do what you want to do, because that's all that matters. You don't feel guilty because I'm not doing it anymore. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. Life is beautiful, and it's not limited to spiritual and psychic, mediumistic work. There's so much potential out there for us all to be creative, to fulfill ourselves at all levels. And we don't want to limit ourselves by believing that one particular pathway is the only pathway. It's not. There are many pathways to God. There are many pathways which we can all tread. And I want you to look at all of them. Then, when you've looked, I've looked at all the philosophies, all religions. I've been to India. I've traveled around the world looking to find God. And when I've had that experience, then I've come back home and I found what I wanted within myself. But I did look, and I did try different things. Some were useless, but some were, really interesting as well. But that's what you've got to do. Test yourself, test the spirit.
Okay, thanks, Bill. So we have Kate Mays on. Hello, Kate.
Hi, Kate, you all right?
She's missing me already. She's been with me all day. Julie Wisdom just sent love to you all.
Thank you.
Lovely, isn't it?
Thank you.
So we've got Emma Smith. So Emma says, if you want to connect to a special someone, is there any way to do that, or is it just whoever comes to you? Example, do you recommend bringing a photo of the person or an item to a medium to try and connect to the spirit?
No, you don't need that, because you're trying to create something. The biggest problem with getting people to come through to you is your emotions. And that's what a lot of people find difficult when they lose somebody and they come to church, say 6 or 7 weeks later, and they're still depressed, they're still emotionally wrapped up, and that causes a blockage for the medium to be able to communicate. And therefore, if I say this when I go to churches, and it's very true. This is a question for all of you. Do you believe in life after death? And you're all going to say, oh yeah, I do. Right. Okay. So before you come to a church, or before you come to the medium, say you were going to see Paula, did you send your thoughts out and say, please come to me, I'm going to see Paula, or I'm going to see Bill, could you come through and talk to me? Now, 99.9% of people don't, because what they say is, oh, Paula will do it, Paula will pull them out of the air, Bill will pull them out of the air. The point being is, you have to make that connection to that loved one. You open yourself up, and that allows them to come in on your vibration, and that allows the medium then to make it easier connection to pass the messages from them to you. But it's a two-way thing. It's you've got a part to play with it as much as the medium. And if people realize this, they probably get a lot better readings. When I go to a church, I get better readings on people who have sent their thoughts out beforehand. I'm going to see Bill Roberts. Can I have a message, please? It's as simple as that, but you've got to believe it. And if you believe in life after death, then you can talk to them, ask them to come. You ask, they will arrive. Test it. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Brilliant.
Yeah, then I'll hand you this quickly so you can read, because we're not sure how you could.
Will my mum let me see my daughter before my mum dies, or will it be after? Will my mum let me see my daughter before my mum dies, or will it be after? My mum disowned me and took my daughter.
It's a bit of a difficult question, that one, because it's about more of a reading. So, yeah.
But yeah, okay, the answer to that is, if that's what you want, but there's obviously, even reading that, there is angst in the words there. Therefore, transform the relationship between your mum and yourself now. Now you'll say to her, oh, she won't talk to me, she won't see me. Now this is the key to life. What you think is what you are. Therefore, you're in a situation whereby it's not going how you want it to do. So you get locked into that thought process, and you go round and round and round, and the same old story plays out. What Spirit says to you is, change the energy. Bring love. Send love to your mum. Send love to your daughter. Bring that love. Say to yourself in an affirmation, create the reality at a higher level within your consciousness. I will see my daughter before I pass away. I will reconcile with my mum through love and understand. Create the reality, because it's all in the mind. It all goes out as an energy. Try these things and then see what happens. God works in mysterious ways, but you must make that effort first and foremost. Change your thinking, change the pattern, destroy the old, create something new. You will be surprised what comes.
Brilliant. Okay, so there was another thing we were talking about, and it's a good thing to discuss on here. We were talking about personal responsibility, weren't we, Bill?
Yeah.
When people come for a reading, me and Kate was talking about this again on another chat we were doing. Again, having that personal responsibility and not relying purely on what a medium says. And like Bill said, sometimes we can get it wrong, or the interpretation can be slightly wrong. But again, it's free will at the end of the day. What's your
the interesting thing about mediumship is it's not so much that you get a message, it's the fact you get any message at all. It's incredible that you, as the customers, or whatever you want to call your the readers, that you get a message, because we are talking about information that has been transferred from a fourth dimensional world into a third dimensional world. It's incredible. Incredible. We get anything of any value which we can relate to, because we're talking about two different states of existence, aren't we? And yet everybody thinks, oh yeah, we'll just go to a medium and it just all come flowing through. And that's where you play a part, because you need to understand that you're as big a part of the reading as the medium and the person from the spirit world that you want to communicate with. So you create that energy by saying, come to me. I want to talk to you. I want to be a part of you again. Believe it. Create that reality. Then the reality becomes real to you.
Okay. Chelsea says, thank you. This was about her mum. She said, thank you. I am working on that.
Sure.
And
it's not going to be easy, Chelsea. Life's not meant to be easy. But if you really want it, then you will do it. If you really want it. And if you really want it, then pray to God, to your guides, to anybody you want in the spirit world. Send out the love. Relax. It will come.
Yeah.
It will come.
So we've got a few more people who've come on. Mick Lockby. Hello, Mick. Oh.
Hang on, there's a question there. Bill, question. Do you feel many people now are claiming to be... Oh, it's the old question.
Yeah, that's an old one. So we've got a few more people coming on. So again, just asking any questions. So Michelle, this is Martin's daughter, my future daughter-in-law. At that.
Keep it in the family, then.
I'm joking, Michelle. So yeah, this is Michelle. She's come on. She's being curious, I think.
Hello, Michelle.
So is there any more questions? So again, you can ask any questions to do with the psychic and spiritual, and Bill will, have the answers there, that he can get.
I will talk some about mediumship, which you probably don't know about. And this is a bit of an enigma associated to just the spiritualism. And I alluded to it a little bit before when I said what the spirit world is really like. Now, one of the biggest hang-ups within mediumship in particular is that you're not a good medium because you can't give names. And I see a medium the other day, she said, I can give a reading, but I don't get names. I never get any names of that. And people get bogged down with the fact that they should have names. Now, the interesting thing is, this is Paula, and we identify with Paula because the society in which we live likes to put little labels upon you. We could have a big sticker on it. Paula, this is Paula. I got a big sticker on me. This is Bill. But in the spirit world, you're not known by your name. You're known by the vibration and the energy of your spiritual self. Therefore, names are of no consequence within the spiritual world. Now, some people, when they come back from the spiritual world, especially the higher spiritual beings, they're not fussed on names, because remember, if you believe in reincarnation, that we are the sum total of many lifetimes, then we've had many names. So what name would you like? Paula, George, Fred, Sarah, Anne? Paula's been on more, because we're multifaceted, male and female over many lifetimes. Names are irrelevant. So don't get bogged down with the concept of names, but focus on the messages that are relevant to you and that they resonate within you and that they have a meaning. But otherwise, and I find it so frustrating that people say, oh, that meeting's no good, so you never gave me any names.
it doesn't matter. It's the message which is the important thing, not somebody's name, not somebody's little tag stuck on their chest. Does that make sense? That's my personal opinion anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
But and also we were talking about, you know, again, going back to the ethics and the confidentiality and working as a professional medium, you know, when people come to you, they're not always in a good place, and they come to you. So everything that you tell them, they would take that as gospel, wouldn't they? So again, that personal responsibility. What we're going to do, I just can't laugh at this. Misha, Paul would love you to be my stepmom, but you better start calling me mummy then. So anyway, we haven't got any other questions coming on at the moment, so I'm thinking, shall we sort of jump in and do a few live readings? We've got a few of you. We've got a list, if that's all right with you, Bill. If any more questions come in, we will put them to Bill. But obviously, at the moment, we're just going to be sort of repeating what we've already said. So what we're going to do, we've got Zoe. She's here. She's hiding. But she has been taking a list of names. So we're going to jump in. Are you happy with that, Bill?
Yeah, fine.
And just do a few little readings. So remember, when we do readings, they are very generalised, okay? So another thing is, if you don't want your personal life on Facebook, only if you don't ask for a reading, okay? I'm not saying it's going to be personal. This is why we don't read out, even though we see a lot of you coming on saying hello, we don't read for you unless you ask, okay? Because we don't know what the messages are that's going to come up. Now, again, it's very generalised, so we're going to be, you know, it could be any aspect of that reading. So there were two from last time. We did actually get cut off on the live readings last week, didn't we? And there was two. There was Kirsty. Are you with us, Kirsty? If you're not with us, hon, you can look back. The other thing is as well, for those of you that, you know, sort of come on late, you can listen back to the recording at the end, okay? So you can hear, you know, the questions and the philosophy that Bill was talking about. Sonia, do I make the list?
Yes, I've already done that.
Okay, so I'm going to go in now. We've got Kirsty, and also there was Linda from last week. So Zoe, do you want me to get your cards?
I thought I was going to be the first.
Are you going to jump in on the
My
camera?
name's down first.
What, for reading?
For Bill, yeah.
Right, so I'm going to just go in. I'm going to read for Kirsty, okay? So excuse me one minute. I'm going to grab Zoe's cards because otherwise she thinks
They're
she's
just there. They're only there.
Oh, you got them.
Just on the table.
Okay. So brilliant. Thanks, Bill. Okay, Michelle,
Bill,
please reading, please, if you have time. It depends if you've been good, doesn't it? Okay, so let me just, you will get a reading, Michelle, all right? So we're just going to do these first two, and we're going to go through the order, okay? So you will all get one. Last time when we done the readings, we were on for about 2 hours, and there was just so many, we couldn't do all of you. So we do try, and we will try to do as many as we can, but again, it depends how many start logging on, okay? So Kirsty, if you're listening, these are your reading from the other week, and sorry, the ones that we did get cut off. Okay, so there we go. So for me, this is all about I'm feeling, Kirsty, with you, I feel a bit of discontentment that's been going on with you over the last sort of 4 to 5 months. So I hope that makes some sense, because I'm also feeling that your energies have been quite low and you've been feeling quite tired. So I don't know whether this has been to do with an emotional upset that's going on, but I feel that there's some anxiety that's going on with you at the moment. If you can give us some feedback as well, please, everybody, because it just, you know, it's nice to get some feedback. But what I'm feeling here, Kirsty, I feel you've got a bit of a breakthrough that's coming up, and I'm being given around the time of August, whereas I feel you're able to sort of sit back in your own power and, you know, to sort of get your life back and a little bit more focus in your life. But what I'm feeling around as we come into the summer months, and I feel particularly going into the autumn time now, I feel that there is a change into something to do with the work that you're doing, and you're also, I'm feeling, looking around. I don't know if you're looking at a move or you're thinking about moving, but it's as if everything, I feel that there is a settling down down period for you, okay? Again, with this tiredness that I'm feeling, I don't know if you've been sort of suffering with any headaches or anything like that, but again, I feel the message that you're getting here is just, there's going to be a lot of upliftment for you as well, okay? They're talking about, I don't know if you cancelled a holiday, but they're talking about 2 holidays coming up. So all I want to say is, it's just, you know, keep smiling and just trust that things are going to work out. But a lot of upliftment, and yeah, just try and, you know, embrace and just enjoy yourself a little bit more, okay? And don't be too serious. All right. So that's Kirsty, and have we got one for Linda Parry? If you're on, if not, you'll get your reading anyway. Okay. So can you read for Linda? So do you want to squeeze in? Whose are these?
I don't know. Oh,
They're
you've got
yours.
mine.
What am I doing with yours? How rude.
You've got mine.
Did you want any, Bill? Did you want to do any?
No, I'll watch.
Okay. Bill's going to sit and watch. Zoe's going to come over with me. She loves being on camera just as much as I do, which I don't. I don't like it. Okay, so I'll just keep an eye on the messages and readings. Kirsty, if you can give us a bit of feedback on that, that'd be brilliant. Okay. Right. So Linda Parry.
Who's Linda?
Linda,
Was she last week?
she was. Yeah. She, as the live went down,
Oh, okay.
we lost connection with her. So I'm just going to keep an eye out for any more messages.
I am at the minute, there isn't any. I have this look at myself, hate it.
So, okay,
What's her name, Linda?
Linda Parry, and then I'll do the next one.
Yep, she's on.
Hello, Linda. Hello, honey. You all right? Hope you're settling into your new home.
Right, so
Okay.
yeah. So you've just given that
Oh,
away, 'cause
God.
so you've
God,
got
I've gone and told her now, haven't
you've got
I?
the Empress card, so it's sort of like being in charge, making a sort of home, being like the strong mother figure. I feel like you're quite content in this new home. That it's, how can I explain? Right, so you've also got like the 2 of Cups, so it's definitely like you've done the right things. And if you obviously, Paula's just said that you've moved, so you've moved in somewhere new, but it's going to bring lots of love. And oh, let me get another one. I do feel, Linda, that I've got the wands here. So I've got like the 9 of Wands. So I feel there's going to be a little bit of conflict going on. I think right now you're settled like with a new home, you're going to start feeling a little bit uneasy with work or with regards to a hobby that you do. So you're going to start thinking now about changing that part of your life as well. Does that make sense?
Okay. Linda, if you give us some feedback,
Can you take that?
Debbie, my sister. Hello, Deb. So if we got a little list there, then we can go through. Okay, so we are going to be reading the first ones that come on. Okay, so we are going to be. We'll try and work through all of
one
them.
for that, Linda, for me, because I was a bit.
Okay. Okay, Linda. Do you know what? For me, this feels very much like you've got a lot of weight on your shoulders, and I don't know whether there's been some disappointment or a feeling of, you know, a little bit of unease around this move. Or it could just be about you sort of settling in. But I'm feeling it's as if you're not sure about where your future's going, or there's a little bit of not anxiety is the wrong word, but I feel you're just not sure about where your life's heading or where you're going next. But I certainly feel there's a lot of responsibility, but they do just want you to slow down a little bit and don't be so hard on yourself. Okay, so you know, try to give us some feedback if you can, or even if it's a little. You don't have to comment on this. Okay, remember that you can just give us a little private message. So you know, again, when you're having a reading, all this is purely is just to give you a bit of direction. Okay, and it's always nice to get a little freebie as well. So remember, we are trying to work through as many as we can, and we do, you know, work a lot. We're always either doing healing or reading or working all the time. So, you know, hopefully, you know, if you need to just message me, Linda, if that makes any sense. And, you know, if there's anything we can help you with, we will. But, yeah, it just feels like I'm going to pull another one because, there we go. So it is certainly, if you can see that. So this is about moving on into calmer waters, and the sword is very much, you know, to do with the mind, but also it's if there's been some struggles, I don't know, I just feel a little bit the last couple of months that things have been a bit up in the air, and I know that you've had this move, but what I'm feeling here, I feel that there is another change. I've got to be honest with you. I feel there is another change that's going to be coming around. So where you're, whether it's to do with work or where you're living, I feel that there is going to be another change that's coming around, or some opportunity for the better. But with this card, this is about moving on into calmer waters, so it will settle down. Okay. So who we got next?
We've got Anahara.
Anahara.
Yeah.
Okay, Anahara, we're pronouncing that right, so we're just going to pull you a card there, okay? So, for me, this is a really lovely card. So if you can see that, this is all about celebrations, okay? So for me, this is about having more fun. I don't know whether there's been some issues around any health concerns that's been going on recently, or it could be that you've just been working really hard. But as we go into sort of the next, I want to say around June, July time, I just feel that there's much more fun, but it's also about you sort of not getting your youth back. I mean, you might be really young already, but it's as if you've got a lot of responsibility, but I'm feeling there's just generally a lot more fun coming around the summertime. I do feel there is some celebration, or there's some good news coming around work as well. So I don't know whether you're thinking about a career change, but generally everything in your, you know, you're feeling much more happier emotionally, but everything, you've just got a really nice balance there. Okay, so if things have been, certainly you've been working hard, whether that's, you know, trying to live financially even, but again, I feel the next sort of 3 months, you know, just feeling much more fun and light-hearted. Okay.
Right,
Hello, Polly.
We've got Anita Johnson.
Anita, no. So what we're going to do, if there's any of you, and I know a lot of you we do know, so obviously the people that I do know, my conscious mind will then try to get in the way. So we will try and read for the ones that we don't know, if that makes sense. Okay. Hello, Polly. We've got our Polly Dolly online. You right there, there?
Yeah.
Have a sit down. You're not on the camera, but if you want to.
So I've got celebrations
Okay.
coming for you, Anita. So there's definitely a celebration coming up. I want to say it's more like anniversary, someone's special anniversary. So if you can let us know if you can take that. But there's definitely been, you've definitely had quite a few sort of sleepless nights, been doing a lot of worrying, overthinking. Because I don't know who she is after all, but nor do you. So I've just got lots of celebrations, but I'm picking up that it's like an anniversary.
Okay.
Someone's special anniversary coming up. But you've been...
Right, so you've got the...
Yeah, lots and lots of overthinking going on.
Okay, so again, with the way that
go.
I'm connecting, sometimes me and Zoe will connect in with each other. So the swords, I don't know whether you've been having some problems sleeping, again, or overthinking, waking up at night thinking, but it's certainly with the swords here, it's all about, you know, it is about generally sort of battles, but some of the battles are within our mind as well. So I'm feeling a lot of this is where you've been overthinking, and there has been some difficult circumstances around you. We always like to leave it on a positive note, because again, you know, that can't stay. You know, we do, things are changing all the time. But I see Zoe's also got the happy ever after card out. So what I'm feeling, you know, this conflict or whatever's been going on with you, I do feel it will pass. I don't know whether there's been some health concerns around you, all around someone quite close to you, but you know, I've got to be honest, hon, I'm feeling a little bit low with you at the moment. But I'm asking for some information on, you know, when you're going to start to feel a little bit better. For me, it feels, if you're thinking about, you know, going to the doctors, or if there is concerns, or again, anything like that, we always say if you're worried about health, go and get yourself a good MOT, all right, just to put your mind at rest. But I certainly feel this is more to do with, you know, feeling quite low and a little bit depressed, but I do get some upliftment. Are you getting any sort
I've got
of
the
time
Knight
with
of Cups,
that?
so I feel that there is going to be some good news coming. I feel you've been waiting to hear about some news, and that's going to come, and it's actually going to, it'll be some good news. It'll make you feel a whole lot better time-wise. I want to say about 4 months. Would that be September? I'm getting September.
Okay.
So yeah, that is, well, May, June, July.
Yeah.
Yeah, September I want to go with, so watch out for that.
So Linda says, thank you, still settling in, looking to change my work, and hope it's soon. So yeah, it will, it is just a case of settling down, and it is, again, it's like that you've been rushing around, there's been a lot going on, so you just need to give yourself a little bit of time to adjust to the change. Okay. Okay, so who we got next?
We've
got Polly to add to the list.
Chelsea.
Right, can we
We've
add,
got a lot of people to add it. So.
can we add Polly, and can we add M. Trigo?
Yeah.
Okay, so time allowing, we will get through. And did you put Michelle on there? Yeah.
Yeah, she's on
Okay,
there.
right. Who we got next then? So again, we are going to try and keep these quite short. Sometimes, you know, if we can sort of go over a little bit, but we are going to try and keep it short so that, you know, all of you, or most of you, will get a message. Also, Pauline. Hello, Pauline. Pauline Lymphony, if we can pull the card for you. All right?
That's for a hobby.
Okay, yes. Right, who's next?
You've got Chelsea.
Chelsea. Okay, so Chelsea, these are really lovely cards I've got here. So for me, it feels very much, if there's been any sort of disappointments recently, it's as if, I don't know whether you've been feeling a bit disappointed emotionally, or there's been a situation that it's been quite frustrating around you, that it's, you know, it's like you've sort of had to withdraw a little bit. But what I'm feeling here, so the High Priestess, you know, again, as Bill was saying, we have got these psychic gifts. So for you, this is about using your own intuition, okay? But also, I feel with the High Priestess, there is some news that's not been revealed as yet, and I want to go over the next 6 weeks where I feel that there is going to be some uplifting news, and you've got your lovely wish card there, okay? So if you've been feeling a little bit low, or you've been a little bit not sure about how relationships are going, or things, you know, generally in your personal life, I do feel that there is going to be some good news. But also, it's I'm feeling and I'm hearing the word security. So I do feel with you, there is some security coming, where you're feeling much more happier in your home as well. Okay, so
right, so Sonia.
So we both know Sonia. So who's going to read for Sonia? What about one each?
Right, well, I've got the Justice card, and then the King of Wands. So with regards to the Justice card, I feel that you've had stuff going on sort of in the background. So I want to say, like, in the back of your mind, Sonia, that you've been thinking about recently. And you're not, it's as if you're not quite sure where to go. And I even want to say it's that you're even thinking of like retraining in something. But you've got the King of Wands. There's definitely a new opportunity for you. I'm not sure what it is yet, so we'll see what Paula gets, but there's definitely a new opportunity coming. I feel this is going to come in with the influence of the male figure. So I feel a male figure is going to approach you with some kind of proposition linked with work.
Okay. What I'm feeling here, Sonia, as well, and I know you so well, and it's a shame because it does sort of get in the way a little bit, but I'm glad I'm working with the cards. So I'm just going to give you the basic what I'm feeling with the cards. I don't know whether they're, you know, again, I'm feeling you're going to start coming into yourself a little bit more, but for me this feels very much around work, okay? So I don't get the job that you're in at the moment being a permanent position, and I feel a little bit, I don't know whether there's something going on where you're feeling, I don't know, like you're not being involved, or I know you said your hours have gone up, but it feels to me that there's something going on around work where you're not sort of feeling it, okay? But we've got the world here, so there is a transition that you're going through at the moment, but I feel it is really like you're having a bit of a shake-up, so that you can start making some decisions and deciding what it is that you want to do. I've got to be honest with you, you know, I'm feeling the next 3 months, I don't feel you're going to be at that job. I do feel you're going to be doing something else, but you're going to be doing something that's, you know, that makes you a lot happier in yourself. Again, just keep up, you know, doing your live readings, advertising, getting yourself out there if that's what you want to do, and I know that's what your passion is. So just stick with it. Remember, it can take us a long time to get working out there. Okay, so all right. Okay, so who got next?
Sonia, do you feel the justice is linked with an ex? Whether they've been saying stuff to someone and then all the truth's going to come out, but it is I'm definitely getting it's linked with an ex. Like they've been, it's a bit like they've been sort of just feeding little bits of information that aren't quite true to change someone's opinion on you. But that's where I'm getting the justice card, because the truth will come out and then people will see them for what they are. Okay?
Okay, so we've got
Emma Smith.
Emma Smith. Hello, Emma. Okay, so what we got here? So
Justice keeps coming up for her.
Sonia. Oh, right. Okay, so it's coming up. You keep pulling the same card, Sonia. So there's a message in that. So sometimes it's a case of wait and see, isn't it? So Emma, for me, this is all about, I've got lots of choices around you at the moment, okay? Now, it feels very much, I don't know whether you're feeling settled where you're living or you're looking at some change, but I do feel some change around the home. Now, also, I know you've had, and again, I do sort of know you, so I know that there has been some issues with some health concerns that have been going on there. Again, we've got to be really careful, although we do get some bizarre stuff. We're not allowed to diagnose or anything like that. That's something we don't do. But what I'm feeling, again, I'm getting the Chariot. So for me, the Chariot time for me is around the July, where I feel that there's going to be something that's going to get sorted. Okay, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know whether you're having to go into hospital or they're talking about doing something. But I want to say that I feel that this is going to be a much better outcome for you. But I also want to go back over the last 2 years for some reason. So I feel that there may have been a bit of an ongoing problem that's not getting resolved. Okay, so I want to say just go back to the doctors, and if you are concerned, just get them to give you a second opinion. What I'm feeling here is as if you're not being listened to. So, you know, it's a case of sort of putting your foot down and going to the right people. Okay, but again, generally, there is a lot of choices around you, and it's as if your mind's all over the place where you want to be at the moment. So,
which is quite funny because you've got the Hermit card from me. I feel once you get into August, September time, you'll be a little bit more balanced and understanding where you're going and what it is you want to do. But at the moment, it's just like what Paula said, it's sort of you're still searching. There's a lot of sort of soul searching going on as well, I feel. Just be really careful with money, because I feel like you're quite generous to help people out with money, but just be careful that you leave enough for yourself, because you don't want to get the balance wrong and all of a sudden you you haven't got enough what you need.
Okay,
Right,
right,
so
who
just
we
do
got
that.
next?
We've
So we
got
are only doing short readings.
Kelly.
We want to get through everyone. Kelly and
Kelly Lockett.
Kelly, okay. So this is
I know
for you,
first,
Kelly. Okay, so for me, this is about, I feel that there is some change to do with security around you, but I feel this is a good card here. This one is around your home, okay? So everything around your personal life, it's as if you've been waiting on some results. And for some reason, I want to go back to the last 3 months. I don't know why I'm getting that, but it certainly feels as though you've been waiting for something. So I hope that makes some sense. But again, it's as if this is also for me about either education or taking on some new job role. So I don't know if that makes sense. But I don't know, I just feel it, you've got a lovely, nice balance there. Okay, so whatever it is that you've been working on, you're going to get some rewards for all your hard work. Okay, all right, who's next?
You've got Adele Lily Tyndall.
Right, so that's you then. Want to do Adele?
I need to shuffle a bit more.
Okay, so we are keeping an eye on the ones, the new ones that are coming on. We have got a little list and we are getting through them. But again, you know, it depends how many of you come on. So we are acknowledging all of you, so don't think we've forgotten about you. But again, it's only as much time allows us.
Right, so Adele, I feel at the moment you're having to really like juggle your money, and I feel that you're really starting to worry about money. And it's as if you sort of get it in one hand and it's out of the other hand. But then you've got the Knight of Pentacles coming, so there's definitely, I want to say there's somewhere that you can be getting money and you're missing it. So whether there's some kind of form you need to fill in that can help you get some money, that there's money in a pot somewhere and you're missing it, but it's there. And it can help with all this worrying, but you definitely, it's that's what I'm getting. It's definitely there. Can you pull one? That's this Adele, because she's juggling with money, but for some reason I want to say there is some money that you're missing. It's like you just need to fill a form in, and you can get that money. I just want to say there's some paperwork somewhere that you've not received, or you've not collected, or you've just not looked at. But if you do your research, there is some kind of money that you can claim.
Okay, did you want me
I
to?
don't want to go too deep because
Yeah,
it's online.
for me, this again, it could be there's been some ongoing battle with, you know, either someone in authority or, you know, getting through some red tape or something like that. But again, you've got that Judgment card, so this is like, you know, expecting things to happen, and this is all about getting, you know, things resolved. Okay, so who we got next?
You've got Julie Wisdom. What cool name, Wisdom.
Do you want to do, because Misha wants me to pull out one, so do you want to do Julie and then I'll do Misha?
Should we just why don't we both do Julie?
Yeah, we both do Julie and we both do Misha. So hello David, he's just come on. Mick Lockie, oh my, totally spot on. Thank you for your feedback. Sonia, I'm off girls, thank you, and thank you Bill for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, and Sonia does relate that. Emma Smith said, thank you ladies. And Sonia said, I feel it's about justice, bringing balance back into my life. Yes, my ex feeds my little one far too much crap.
Yeah, right, Julie, I'm getting the Ace of Wands, so I feel like there is a new beginning with you, something new. Don't know if you've been looking at changing your career or whether you've been applying for a new job, but I feel that there's definitely something coming. I do want to say we're looking within the next 3 to 4 months. So if you don't have an idea of what it is, keep a lookout. If there's a passion that you've got, something you've always wanted to do, start looking. Now's the time to start looking because the opportunity is there.
Right, is this for?
This is for Julie.
Hi Julie. Yeah, so I wasn't listening then because I was miles away, so I'm hoping that's resonates to what you've said. So this is judgment. So it's yeah, it's about finally being able to move ahead. It's at that penny dropping moment, that realization. But it's also about whether you've had to be patient for a long time. And this is about really getting going. Did you pick up with work around that? Or
Yeah, I
some
feel
new-
there's a complete new
Yeah.
job, and it's as if at the moment you can't even see that that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
But it is. You just got to say, it's just like Bill was saying earlier, we've put out that like affirmation, do the believing like
Put the
the law of
intention out.
attraction and all of that, and just see yourself doing this new thing, and it is going to come.
But also, I feel with this, I don't know whether it's been as if you've had to wait for a long time to get what you was. Well, maybe the timing wasn't right, or it's as if you had to sit back. But this is like your time to shine now. So I do feel some, good news. But also, it's like finally, I'm actually where I want to be, and those opportunities are coming around. But it does feel very new. So it's like you've planted the seed of something, and that's all gonna sort of start to come into fruition. Okay, so Michelle. Okay, so this is, I'm going to say Michelle. All right, so let's see what we got for you. So Michelle, I know obviously about your new job, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
All right, sorry about that.
Sure,
Now, sorry about that. Right, Michelle.
I've got the death card, Michelle, which is becoming at the end of something. It's not as bad as the card.
I forgot you.
It just means
Wow.
that it's the end of something that no longer needs purpose in your life, and that means that the new thing's going to start. So you're definitely doing the right thing.
Okay.
There you go.
Right, so Michelle, you've got two cards here. Okay, so this for me is around the time of August, so it's the Leo, but also this for me is the next 8 weeks. So this is all about putting your passion into something new, and it is really the ones are all about education and learning, and it's around work. So I want to say the next 8 weeks is going to be where you're going to be sort of prepared, and you're going to be learning lots of new skills. But also it is like it's finally it's you doing something that you're really going to put your passion into, and you're absolutely going to love all of the learning that comes with that. But generally just feeling really nice positive energy around all that. Okay, so you can buy me a box of chocolates for that when you see me. I'm only joking, Michelle. All right, so I hope that well, obviously it's a case of waiting for it, and you sort of like what I'm talking about, because obviously I'm aware of your work. So it is, hopefully the timing is right with that, but it is going to be something where you're really going to enjoy, and you know what, it is going to be your time to shine as well, because you've got that compassion and that passion for what you do, and you need people to recognise that. So you're going to get a big sense of achievement of doing what you're doing. Okay, and the good thing about it is I do feel that you're just going to flourish even more with this new job. Okay, right, so who we got next? Helen says, hello girls, lovely to see you.
Helen.
Saw you today, Helen. You're missing me already. Are you off?
Say bye, Bill.
Busy for a while anyway.
Right, so just quickly, Bill's going to be off, because bless him, he's been sat here while we're doing the live readings.
That's right.
Thank you for all the questions that you've brought in, and I'm sure Bill's
If
thoroughly
there's any more
enjoyed
questions
it.
come in, then I can respond to
Yeah.
them later on anyway.
But,
But, thank you for the
again,
experience. Anyway.
yeah, so again, obviously the all of the questions are on there, and Bill's still open, so if you do want to ask any questions, you can still do so, and he will reply to them later.
Yep.
All right, thanks a
Right.
lot, Bill. You're all right,
See you
Lisa?
later.
Yeah, they're fine.
Brilliant.
Have fun. See you.
See
Thanks
you
a lot.
later. All right, thanks, Bill.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Okay, so
Kim Smith.
Kim Smith. Okay, so Kim, what we have for you is, I'm feeling here, I don't know if there's been some injustice that's been going on around you, or it's as if I feel like you're being pulled from pillar to post. So I don't know what's going on here, but I feel it's like you've got these two different pathways that you can go down, or there's going to be two opportunities. But I don't know whether there has been any legal situation, or it is just an injustice. I don't know what's actually going on here, but can I just say the feeling that I get with this is I do feel that there is some new opportunity which is going to be more beneficial for you. So it's a case of, letting go if not, what doesn't serve you. But I feel there is some excitement coming around at you. Sort of
Yes,
picking up
and
anything
funny
like
she
that.
says that, because I've got, so you can see the cards here. Oops, that way. Okay, so the first one I pulled is, it's the 5, is it 5? No, the 6 of cups. And to me, it's like somebody, you reuniting with someone. So I want to say it's somebody from, I want to go back about 5 years, someone that you would have known about 5 years ago, had a really close friendship with, and then for one reason or another, you just sort of don't see each other anymore. But this person, you're going to bump back into them, and they're actually going to start being quite a big part of your life. And they're going to be helping you and supporting you with sort of moving on and overcoming these obstacles that you've been facing. Because then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like meeting this person, it's just going to, whether it just gives you that new lease of life and reminds you of how you used to be and the person you was, and it makes you kick your sort of heels up and go for it again. But I feel that the link with this person is definitely positive in bringing you a really good sort of forward role for the future. So look out for that person, because they're definitely you're gonna have fun with them.
Okay. So
I hope that makes sense, Kim.
Julie Wisdom says, always
Yes,
looking
my
home,
friend,
job
so.
front, thank you, we'll update you as and when. Michelle says, yes, looking forward to the new job, although I'm very nervous about starting again somewhere new. Yeah, you'll be fine, Michelle, you've got some really lovely energy around.
Yeah, the other one was definitely meant to have gone.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
For that to come up straight away.
And my sister says, I'm off now, sis, see you soon.
See ya.
Soon. Yeah. See ya.
Right, what is the time? Just aware of the time.
Yeah.
We've been on.
Yeah, we're just, so
sort
we've
of
got a couple
past.
more.
So we've got, before my phone dies, I've got written down up to Pauline. I don't know how many you've got after that.
Pauline.
But we have done sort of, this does mean we've done like
There's
over
only going to be a
20,
couple
so.
more now because we
Right,
have
so
been
we've
on for a
got
few
the
hours.
next one on the list was, is it Sheena? I hope I've said your name right. So I've written it quickly in pencil.
Okay. So, Sheena.
Sheena, Schumann.
Sheena, right, okay, so we're pronouncing your name? No, I don't. So for me, the Hermit is all about a feeling, a need for you to withdraw, but also just to take some time and take a bit of a breather, because I don't know whether things have been a little bit hard work and challenging, but I certainly feel it's as if you need to sort of just take some time out and rebalance yourself a little bit. But also I feel that there is a lot of thinking that you need to be doing about, because I want to go back over the last year or so, whereas I don't know, when we're plodding along and we're not particularly happy with how life is going, and we know that there is a need for some change. So this is about taking some time out, but I want to say the next 2 months I feel that there is some opportunities, but also, sometimes this happens if we've not been feeling too well, or, our energies have not been good. So if it's a case of you've been feeling that you've had too much time out and you're feeling a little bit, on a lonely journey, this is, for me, there's a need for you to do that. But also, as I move forward with this, I feel just that you feeling much more happier and having that balance back. Also, I don't know whether there is some news if you're expecting some news, or if you've got family overseas. But I don't know, it could just be that you're planning a holiday, because then you've got, and it's funny enough, Zoe's just pulled,
We've both got exactly the same
the same card. So for me, this is about, you know, your home life, everything. I just feel lots more improvements, and you just feeling much more happier.
I do feel, I've also got the Queen of Swords along with the sort of celebration one, and I do feel though that you need to sit in your own power. It's as if like you've not felt, I kind of get the feeling you've not felt as strong as you actually, as you are, or you just, you know, people might say to you, oh, you're really strong, but you just don't feel it at the moment. But you need to get that inner strength from you, because it is there, and sit in your own power, take charge of your own mind, and just focus on what it is you want, and you can get there, because you've definitely got the celebrations, but you need to sit. I want to say, if you don't do meditation, have a go at doing it. And even if you do like a meditation where you can manifest where you want to be, what you want to do, try doing one of those. So you can get things like that on YouTube if you just type in manifestation meditation, and then have a go, because you definitely need to just sit in your own power and start taking charge of your thoughts. And it's like rewiring your mind to think of what you want and how you're going to get it, and then you can definitely get it, because we've both got this card.
Yeah, we both got the same card. We don't
So I
often
hope that helped.
we don't often do that, do we? So should we do
No.
one more?
We got Polly.
Okay,
So I thought if we do Polly, Emmy, and Pauline, and then
Yeah.
my phone went dead, so it's a kind of sign to say.
Okay, all right. So we've got three.
Usually,
If we don't get to read, and this is what tends to happen, sometimes we get so many on. If you know, we will. If we don't get around to reading you tonight, just leave a little message at the end, and then when we come on next week, we will put your name up first, okay? And that's the only way we can do it fairly, all right? Because I've been working all day. I've done about 6 or 7 readings today, so it's been a really long day. And again, remember, you know, it's nice that you're getting a little freebie, and you know, sometimes just being a little bit patient, and we do try our best.
yeah.
Okay.
We do parties, don't we?
And we do parties, yes, by the way, I'll tell you, we do parties.
It's like party girls.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And the last one was
We
even
know that one.
better, wasn't it? Because we had a bottle of Prosecco. No, not
A glass.
a glass. They exaggerate. We had a glass. Okay.
Right, Polly, I've got them moving away from some kind of emotional things that have been going on. So I don't know if you've got, I do feel there's been some emotional stuff going on around you. I don't feel it's you personally. I want to say it's linked with your partner. So I don't know whether they've had any thing. I want to say it's to do with the past. I want to say it's with a past relationship that sort of, that some stuff's been coming up, and it's time to sort of put all of that away. But whatever it is, it's definitely going to be in the past now, and there's that moving forward for him, and which also means it'll be better for you, because if he's not worrying about that, you're not worried about him worrying about that. So the next card for that is the Justice. So like I've sort of said with the sort of walking away, it's definitely, he's going to have the Justice. So I don't know. I'm not going to say online what I'm getting that it is, because it's not really for everybody to be aware of that. So I'm hoping that you can link with me sort of psychically to what it is I'm thinking, but it's definitely all coming to an end. It's going to be in his favour. So if there's things that he's wanted, he's definitely going to be getting some of those things, and it's all going to be looking good. So we'll see what 2 cards Paul has pulled for the next.
Okay.
From that.
Polly, would this make any sense to it being related about money and finance? Okay, so this is what I'm feeling with this. But what I do want to say is I feel there's a little bit more something positive that's coming around this, and I want to go in the next 2 months in particular. Okay, but I do feel there is some pressure that's going on around, and it could be around finances at the moment. But yeah, I'll just give it another 2 months, and I just feel there's a lot more balance there.
Yeah, I feel it's been a couple of years going on.
Yeah, right? But it's as if, you know, just what the advice is, just to sort of keep the communication open and try and keep it as calm as possible. if that makes any sense. But yeah, I do feel sort of more, there's a stress that's going on around with your partner at the moment. But yeah, but it will be okay. All right? Okay, so let's
Emmy.
do these last two now.
Yeah, Emmy Tregear. Excuse me if I say it wrong.
Emma Tregear. Okay, Emma.
Ooh.
Can I go first?
Can
I go first?
Yes.
Okay, so we got the lovely star for you. Okay, so this is all about, for me, the star has always been about healing, but it's also about you connecting with your own psychic and spiritual abilities. Okay, so we're all psychic. Not everyone realizes they are, but we all are. And you know, sometimes it is a case of whether it is, for me, I've got to be honest with you, I don't know what's been going on, but I'm being drawn around my chest area, and I don't know whether, you know, it could just be you've been feeling under the weather, or it's been that time of year when we've had all these horrible viruses going about. But for me, whatever it is, I do feel, you know, when you suddenly I don't know, we hear that sad season,
yeah.
You know, when the summer and the warmer weather comes out, you start to feel better. This also could be if there has been a little bit of, you know, if you've been feeling a little bit depressed, or, you know, worrying about how your life's going to work out. This for me is there's lots of surprises that's on its way for you, and also just feeling much feeling happier in yourself. And for some reason, I don't know what's going on, I'm feeling there needs to be some change to do with what you're eating. I don't know if you've got a bit of an intolerance, or it's certainly a need for you to be looking after your health a little bit more, but lots of healing coming your way. Okay?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting, I believe that the last sort of few months has been quite hard for you, and you felt it's not been easy. I feel like mood-wise, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether there's been some kind of loss that you've had around you, but I'm definitely thinking, because you've got the Emperor and you've got the Death card, but to me, I'm seeing the Death card as being that as we're coming out of April, we're coming to the end of that sort of period of that like lull, that sort of dip of that low sort of mood and that feeling, because the Emperor is in Aries, so with Aries, we've just passed out of Aries on the 19th of April. So to me, the two cards linked together means that it's the end of that sort of bad era. I think you've been through quite a bad period of time, and I still want to say maybe there has been a loss somewhere, a bit of a bereavement, but you're now moving into like the calmer waters, and it's as if now like all the clocks have changed, the weather's getting nicer. Then the ones that Paula has pulled, those are the ones that are moving forward. So it's definitely looking really good moving forward. Although at the moment, I don't think it feels like that, if that makes sense. But it's definitely, you're definitely going to be moving forward. Because then I'll pull another one, because I don't want to end it with that. And you've got the Empress, which is you sitting in your own sort of power. It's like the Empress card, it's just like Mother Earth. You are in charge of everything. You're full of abundance, and you're sort of really rich within your own self and just in life. So you're definitely moving into a nicer situation.
There we
And
go.
then last one, Pauline, she's asking for her hubby job-wise. It's
Okay.
quite nice to be specific.
Yeah, okay. So for me, Pauline, this is all about the Ace of Swords. For me, it's cutting through all of the stuff that you don't need. So it certainly makes me feel, would you understand where there's a lot that he needs to, there's some loose ends that need tying up, but also it's as if the last 2 years, it's just nothing's been, I don't know, I feel that he's got too much going on around, or there's been some pressure that's been going on for too long, and it's been building up and building up. So what I'm feeling here with the Ace of Swords, it's basically cutting through all the crap, getting rid of all that, but also it is about new direction. So it's about having new ideas and putting his ideas into place. But it's about, I don't know if he's a little bit despondent, or he's sort of feeling a little bit low and feeling, you know, nothing's quite quite working for me at the moment. But for me, this is all about, it's about action, it's about getting the job done. And yeah, I do feel there is a new direction, and it's as if he's able to assert himself a little bit more. But I do feel there is something that's coming up, I want to say around sort of the next 2 to 3 months. But they are talking about there is a need for him to make sure that he doesn't miss out on opportunities. So if he's seen something, I feel very much it could be something that he may want to work for himself, or he may have some ideas that he's had in place for a while. But whatever it is, I'm not sure. I've got to be honest with you, I'm not getting exactly what it is, but I do feel the Ace of Swords there is it's new direction, it's time for action, and the timing is right now, whereas it wasn't in the past, because I feel that what he was doing in the past was actually holding him back, and he wasn't able to progress. And I feel that he's got a lot of creative ideas, and he's not really been reaching his full potential. Okay, so this is a positive move forward. So hopefully that makes some sense, Pauline, and if you can give us a bit of feedback.
Yeah, Pauline, I'm not sure if there's been like a redundancy around him with his work, whether it's that I'm getting, or whether he's just been working a sort of really hard job, but it's as if he's still just, you know, when it comes to that payday, he's still not really got anything to spend. And it's like you have to be really careful, put so much money away, and you can only have a little bit. But I still get that sort of gut feeling that maybe there's been a redundancy and he's kind of unsure of where he's going to go. Whether he's like reflecting on thinking that it's because of his age, but like Paula said, there's definitely, I was going self-employed, so I don't know if he's been self-employed, but I'm definitely getting that. It's if he was redundant and there's some money there, put it into investing in his own business, starting something new that he wants to do for him. It's as if he's been doing all this work for someone else and making them money, when actually he could be making that money for himself. You've got the High Priestess, so he definitely needs to make that decision. It's as if there's 2 decisions to make and he needs to, but I do feel you are going to have to be that rock, because obviously the High Priestess is a strong woman. She's a moon card, so it's really, I feel you are going to be the one that has to nudge him. It's as if you say to him, yes, do that, he'll do it. So I hope that makes sense.
And I did pull another card, Pauline. I pulled the Chariot, and this is about building your own little empire for me. Okay, so you know, really sort of taking control, being in control, and using that creative energy that's there, because I do feel he wants to do something which is going to be much more grounding for him as well. So I do feel it's like, you know, when we're doing something for years and our passion's not in it, you know, but I feel that he's actually going to be doing something where he can put his passion into it, and you know, he's going to feel much happier. It's been a long time coming, put it that way. Okay?
Yeah, I've got the King of Cups, so the decision he makes, he will be emotionally, he'll feel much better.
Yeah.
So
okay. So sorry we couldn't get through everybody. Like I said, if you just put a little comment, you know, on the, if you could put comment, we will look back and we will write down any names of those that didn't get it. Again, if you can give us some feedback, that'd be brilliant. I just want to say Bill's had to go. We didn't realise we were going to go on this long, and I hope you sort of enjoyed interacting with Bill, and he gives some really good. Yeah, I learned a lot from that tonight. Next week we got, I don't know if you've heard of him, so we got our John Bennist. So John,
James
I'm
Bond.
tired, yeah. John lives on Haylen Island, and he's been working as a healer. Talking in riddles. He's been working as a healer for about 40 years or more, and John actually come and done a healing share where what he actually does is fascinating what he does. He used to run what was called the Kingfisher Clinic with him and his wife, who is now passed on, and they were both healers and worked particularly with cancer patients. John's going to be coming here next week, and he's going to be joining me, and we're going to have a good old chat and find out all about you know, his philosophy on healing, but also to answer any questions, you know, related to the healing side of it. So we are absolutely shattered, didn't we? So we
Apologies
again,
if I wasn't good.
you were brilliant.
What a headache.
You were brilliant. When, you know, again, when we've been doing this work, it can be quite draining, quite tiring, and but we do try and, you know, again, even if it's just to give you something little, so, and hopefully it goes out to the right people that need it. All right, so there's lots of people out there, and we all need something, you know. So we'll be back next week, and Zoe's going to be nice and brave and going to come and do some more live readings next week. So next week will be John Bennis. He'll be talking all about everything to do with healing. And what I love about John is one of the most humblest people I've ever known, and he will give his time and energy just to help people out. And the more people that he helps, you can see that's his passion. And, you know, he's totally in his element, and he really enjoys. There's no ego with him. You know, he does what he does for the, you know, the passion and compassion that he's got for helping other people. So if you can come on next week, he'd be over the moon to be able to connect with a lot of you, and you can ask some questions. But thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And now me and Zoe's going to hit the vodka. Not really. All right. So are we?
Should we switch off?
Yeah. So would that, wouldn't it? Bye.
Is it on here?
No, that one down there.
Bye.
Yeah, and where it was. That's it.
Bye.
See ya.
No, I'm still on.
Is it?
Ah,
That's it now.
no,
Go
it's
to
too
work.
much, isn't it?
And see you, everyone.